Well, if the quartering can't jack off to it, then everyone's got to go out and make some fucking noise.
I'll have you know, there's nothing I can't handle, if you know what I mean. Now, this video is particularly annoying because I was, and used to be, I suppose, a big fan of Pat the NES Punk back in the olden times of YouTube. Back when a guy like Pro Jared was doing good. I came across his content when I kind of fell back in love with retro. A lot of these retro guys have come and gone, as most of them didn't have much of a personality, and there's few that have stuck around and continue to be amazing, like Angry Video Game Nerd, which I, by my estimation, is probably my all-time favorite YouTuber. Now, I came across this video because many of you sent it to me and said, hey, Pat and Ian took a shot at you in their video. And I said, Pat and Ian, who? Oh, I hadn't remembered them since their last horrible hot take yelling at gamers for not, they sided with Blizzard, essentially. And their continued, it's not for you narrative really points to two angry, bitter, sad old men that I don't know why they're even talking about video games. It's like their show is for people that hate people that love video games. That's how it reads to me. But there's some exceedingly bad takes in this video, and I thought, what better way to celebrate a Friday than with a good old response video? Pat and Ian, you asked for this. So behold, I give you the worst take on the Sonic remake film.
I want to know how many of the people made a huge about this are actually going to see the movie, or are they just armchair critics? And that's what bothers me.
That's my argument. This is a Sonic movie.
I'm sorry. To those that got up, like really up in their faces and were insulting, it goes back to the Diablo thing. Sit down. I don't care. It's not that big of a deal.
It's outrage over something that doesn't matter.
You don't need to be that outraged.
That was my point about it in the beginning. This is
Look, we get it. You read that BuzzFeed article once that scientists linked cursing to higher IQ, but you know it doesn't count when you're clearly forcing it. You know, you're probably pushing 40, both of you. Can we talk like adults and not schoolyard children? But nonetheless, I digress. Armchair critics, isn't that exactly what you are? That's the same thing I am. What's wrong with having an opinion? This is just a cloaked shot at fandoms, which Ian, the pasty gentleman on the left or right, I don't know where you're seeing him. You might miss him. He's like a ghost. He seems to have a problem with fandoms. These are two gentlemen that will continue to double down even on their take on Diablo and make assertions that people are, quote, like losing their mind. They're so up in arms over the design. Where? This is a straw man argument. This is saying that, oh, a few people made videos on the internet laughing at the design. By the way, the overwhelming majority of people were memeing on it from what I saw. Where are all these angry meltdowns that you two seem to be alluding to? I think most Sonic fans were laughing at how bad it was. They weren't exactly losing their minds, as you might be putting it, but I stand firm in saying that to discount or remove the fandom's input is a bad idea. And you yourself said you're glad they're changing it just before saying this. So what is your problem exactly? I know what it is. It's that the fandom got their way, and you're mad about that.
The movies aren't for you, 40-year-old Sonic fan. It's not for you. It's just, it isn't. Sorry, they want you to see it, but they're not making this for you.
Oh, here we go again.
Wait. Pump the brakes. Wait. It's your contention that some group of investors or some businessman or businesswoman went into Paramount Pictures and met with Sega and said, hey, we want to use a character nobody born in the last 12 years knows anything about. We want to make a movie around that person. Are you contending that was their pitch? Because I'm pretty sure you're dead wrong. You wouldn't go in there and request huge budgets and not service the fandom. All right. Sonic hasn't been relevant in a decade or longer. This movie is for 40-year-old Sonic fans. What the truth of the matter is, it's probably for 40-year-old Sonic fans to take their kids to. That's the real target demo, in my opinion. But if you're going to stick with the it's not for you, you're going to lose again. Because this is, of course, this is for Sonic fans.
So, when this stuff happens, there's layers of people that get involved with these decisions.
Yes.
The director doesn't always have the final say. I can guarantee you almost 95% of the director did not like this final.
Oh, probably hated it.
I can probably guarantee you he was fighting at least somewhat tooth and nail, but it was the studio heads saying, no, this is what we want. This is what we want. Whatever. It could be 3 people that might have played Sonic 20 years ago and just said this, or they might have been like, and gone over the top and said like, well, he's got to look more human the most he can. And the director might have said, well, that's not a good idea because we're going to piss people off. But he needed the ammo from the bad reaction from the trailer to come back to him.
Right.
And say, see, the people that are most likely to see this movie don't like it.
I actually pretty much 100% agree with you on this. I don't want to just only have takes I disagree with you because I've got a soft spot in this old bearded man's heart. I agree. I'm guessing that, as you guys pointed out, based on the initial reaction to the leaked poster, the director probably, if he didn't already, knew that people weren't going to like it. And the ammo from the trailer was probably exactly what he needed to get the redesign. I agree with you that that's probably what happened, and the director probably did not have 100% creative control. And I wouldn't be surprised if Sega had gotten in there too and made some sort of design decisions as well, maybe based on future video games or future prospects that they had in their mind. But the bottom line is, once the reaction happened, you can't blame the fandom. You can't get mad that the fandom didn't like something, and you can't pretend that the movie studio and Sega wasn't counting on literally every single old school Sonic fan to show up at the movie theater. That's the entire reason you use a license. So the argument of it's not for you is BS. The argument that, you know, why would you cast Jim Carrey if this audience wasn't for 40-year-olds? How many 12-year-old kids know who the heck Jim Carrey is? You could have had literally anybody play this character in this movie, but Jim Carrey basically plays Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey in the film is for 40-year-olds because we're the ones that remember when Jim Carrey was actually funny.
That's it.
I swear a lot of the people who were complaining about it and complaining the most, they're either not going to see it or they were going to see it anyway. There's nothing that this change is going to do.
This isn't centrism, by the way. This is rational thinking.
Centrism's a poison.
This is rational thinking.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right, now we know who they're pandering to. Now we get it. Centrism is a poison? You mean being amenable, being open to negotiating, and trying to do the best for both sides is a poison? What? So you're saying that first of all, we're going to ignore the political implications of what you're saying because I already suspect you may have some very, very poor ideas on how to get progress in this country. But nonetheless, you're talking about essentially, let's apply to the movie. So trying to please the fans and find a happy middle ground is poison. Why would you be subscribed to this podcast ever? Unless you are totally like entrenched, echo chamber seeking, low IQ, sheeple type person. Why would you want to? I know for a fact there are many people that watch my show that often disagree with many of my takes, and I am thankful they're here. I have many people that vehemently disagree with my takes and will write me 20-page emails about them, and I read them all. I appreciate that. I'm not always going to be right. That's why I like to kind of be in the center, because if you think your way is the only way, well, you're an idiot. I don't know how else to put it. All right, so if you believe that to be true in real life, which Ian clearly does, And Pat clearly does because he didn't challenge him. These two are both just, you know, they never challenge each other from what I can see, although maybe they do. I'm not a regular watcher of a show. Why would I want to watch a show of two old grumpy men in rocking chairs complaining about gamers? That's what I do. Nah, I mean, just kidding. The idea of compromise being poison is exactly why your show is dying. Exactly why you have 250,000 subscribers and nobody watches your show. Being entrenched is exactly how you alienate your fandoms. People make movies to do what? At the end of the day, some of you are saying at home, I can hear you, to make money. All right? So the idea that you wouldn't want to listen to the people who are paying you money is absurd. And it's the speak of somebody who lives in a one-bedroom apartment above a bar. By choice. I'm sure some of you might. No disrespect, but you get what I'm saying. If you are so entrenched, right or wrong, in your belief system, you are not someone that's going to get far in life, in the overwhelming majority of cases. And this is just a horrible take, and it gets worse. We're going to talk about probably their worst take coming up next.
Well, if the quartering can't jack off to it, then everyone's got to go out and make some fucking noise.
And I saved their absolute most garbage hot take for the end. And this is a common tactic by, I don't know, weirdos. I ran into a small cabal of people when I criticized, for example, the new She-Ra design. When I criticized the design of Thundercats Roar. Weirdos, like far left ideologues' response to that criticism is always like, well, what are you jerking it to that? What, it's not for you to jerk it to? Who said that? Nobody's saying that. And it's creepy that your mind goes there. This is, at best, a bizarre place to go, and it makes me question what you're doing to your cartoons. And look, hey, if you are into that, no disrespect, but we're talking about like 7 people worldwide that are doing that. Okay, maybe 70. Nobody is complaining about the design of these characters because they can't jerk it to them. This is a distraction tactic. It's a weird way to try and shut down legitimate criticism. It makes you think, when people use this really, really basic rebuttal, it makes you know that you're over the target. That's when you take the most flack, right? They try to paint you like some sort of degen to shut you down. By the way, I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying that's the type of argument they're making. It's like they don't think hentai exists or other options. If I'm into the cartoon world, I can find whatever I need. I don't need Sonic to turn me on. The argument that you take, a beautiful woman like She-Ra and turn her into a 13-year-old boy is a legitimate critique. Obviously, the designers of that cartoon can do whatever it is that they want to do, but critics gonna critic. And when their response is, well, you can't be, doing weird, lewd stuff with it, so your criticism is invalid, shows you everything about these people that you need to know. Either one, that's what they're doing to it, because that idea had never crossed my mind. Or two, they know they will lose a rational argument to use. So I saved that for the end so that when you're out there having legitimate discussions with people and they try to use this tactic, remember, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to derail you. They're trying to put you on the defensive. They're trying to get you off that mark because you're standing right on it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll talk to you again real soon.